In 2023, a lawyer in New York submitted a legal brief to a federal court that cited 6 previous court cases as precedent. There was just one problem. None of those cases existed. Not a single one. They were completely fabricated by ChatGPT, right down to the case numbers, the judges' names, and the legal reasoning. The lawyer trusted the AI, the court did not, and his career took a devastating hit. This is not a rare glitch. This is a fundamental feature of how these systems work, and if you use AI for anything that matters, you need to understand why. Before we dive in, please remember that this video is for educational and informational purposes only. AI is a rapidly evolving field. Always do your own research and think critically. With that said, in this video, we are going to break down what AI hallucinations actually are at a technical level, why large language models like ChatGPT confidently make things up, and why this is not a simple bug that engineers can patch out in the next update. I will walk you through real-world examples where hallucinations have caused serious harm, and by the end, I will give you a practical framework for spotting when AI is fabricating information. Make sure you stay for the final section, because I will cover the one habit that can protect you from the most dangerous type of hallucination, the kind that sounds perfectly true. Let us start with the most important thing most people get wrong about AI. When you ask ChatGPT a question, it feels like you are searching a database. It feels like the AI knows things and is retrieving answers for you, the same way a librarian pulls a book off a shelf. But that is not what is happening. Not even close. A large language model is a next token prediction machine. That is it. When you type a question, the model looks at the sequence of words you have provided and calculates the statistically most probable next word. Then it takes that new word, adds it to the sequence, and predicts the next one after that. It repeats this process hundreds or thousands of times until it generates a complete response. Think of it like the autocomplete on your phone, but scaled up by billions of parameters trained on enormous amounts of text from the internet. Your phone might predict that after the word good, you will type morning. A large language model does the same thing, just with far more context and sophistication. It is not understanding your question. It is not reasoning through a problem. It is generating the most statistically likely sequence of words that would follow your prompt, based on patterns it absorbed during training. This distinction matters enormously, because when the model does not have a strong statistical pattern to follow, it does not stop and say, "I don't know." It keeps predicting the next most likely token. And sometimes that means it generates text that is fluent, confident, and completely wrong. That is a hallucination. The term itself is a bit misleading. It implies the AI is seeing something that is not there, as if it is malfunctioning. But from the model's perspective, it is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is producing plausible-sounding text. The model has no internal fact-checker, no concept of truth versus falsehood. It only knows what sounds right based on the patterns in its training data. Here is an analogy that might help. Imagine you ask a person who has read millions of books to tell you about a topic, but this person has no actual understanding of anything they have read. They have just memorized patterns of which words tend to follow other words. If you ask about a well-documented topic, like the causes of World War II, the patterns are strong, and the output will likely be accurate. But if you ask about something obscure, or ask the person to combine ideas in a novel way, they will just keep stringing words together in a pattern that sounds like it could be true. That is your large language model. Now let us talk about why this causes real harm. Because this is not just an academic problem. Beyond that New York legal case, hallucinations have shown up in alarming places. In healthcare, researchers have tested AI chatbots with medical questions and found them generating fake citations to non-existent studies, recommending medication dosages that were dangerously wrong, and describing treatment protocols that no medical authority has ever endorsed. People searching for health information are particularly vulnerable because medical text has a specific authoritative tone, and language models are very good at mimicking that tone. In journalism, AI tools have fabricated quotes attributed to real people. In education, students have submitted AI-generated essays containing invented historical events and fake statistics. In business, companies using AI to generate reports have published financial information that was entirely made up. Each of these cases shares the same root cause. The model was not retrieving facts. It was generating probable-sounding text, and no one caught the difference in time. What makes hallucinations especially dangerous is the confidence factor. A language model does not hedge when it is uncertain. It does not say, "I'm guessing here," or "this might be wrong." It presents fabricated information with the exact same fluent, authoritative tone it uses for accurate information. This is because confidence is not a feature the model controls. The model is always doing the same thing, predicting the next likely token. There is no internal uncertainty signal that maps onto how we humans express doubt. Some newer models have been fine-tuned to say, "I'm not sure," in certain situations, but this is a trained behavior, not genuine self-awareness. The model learned that in some contexts, the phrase "I'm not sure" is a statistically appropriate response. It does not actually experience uncertainty. If you are finding this breakdown valuable and you appreciate this kind of clear, in-depth approach, a quick click of the subscribe button below is the best way to let me know. It helps this channel continue to create helpful content just like this. Now let us move on to what is arguably the most critical question. Why can't we just fix this? If hallucinations are such a well-known problem, why haven't OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and all the other companies simply solved it? The answer is that hallucination is not a bug in the system. It is a direct consequence of how these systems are architected. Asking a language model to never hallucinate is like asking your phone's autocomplete to only suggest words that are factually true. The mechanism was not built for truth. It was built for plausibility. There are several approaches being used to reduce hallucinations, and they help, but none of them eliminate the problem. Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, connects the model to external databases so it can look up real information before generating a response. This helps, but the model can still misinterpret, misquote, or selectively ignore the retrieved information. Reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF, trains models to produce responses that humans rate as helpful and accurate. This improves overall quality, but human raters cannot catch every subtle fabrication, especially on technical topics. Fine-tuning on curated datasets improves accuracy in specific domains, but the underlying prediction mechanism remains the same. The fundamental tension is this: the same creative flexibility that makes language models so useful is exactly what makes them unreliable. The ability to generate novel, fluent text on virtually any topic is inseparable from the ability to generate novel, fluent text that happens to be false. You cannot have one without the other, at least not with current architectures. So what can you actually do about this? Let me give you a practical framework for protecting yourself. First, treat AI output as a first draft, never as a final answer. This single mindset shift will protect you from the majority of hallucination-related problems. If you approach every AI-generated response with the assumption that it might contain errors, you will naturally verify the things that matter. Second, watch for the telltale signs. Hallucinations are more common when you ask about obscure topics, recent events after the model's training cut off, specific numbers and statistics, named individuals who are not extremely well known, and academic citations. If the AI gives you a specific statistic, Google it. If it cites a study, look that study up. If it names a person, verify they exist and actually said what the AI claims they said. Third, use the ask it to doubt itself technique. After getting a response, ask the model, what parts of your previous answer might be inaccurate? Or, are you certain that citation is real? Models will sometimes flag their own fabrications when prompted this way. It is not foolproof, but it adds a useful layer of scrutiny. Fourth, cross-reference with at least one other source. This is the simplest and most effective protection. Never rely on a single AI output for anything consequential. Let me bring this all together. AI hallucinations are not a temporary problem that will be fixed in the next software update. They are a structural consequence of how large language models generate text through statistical pattern prediction. These models do not know things. They predict plausible word sequences. When the patterns in their training data are strong, the output tends to be accurate. When the patterns are weak or ambiguous, the output can be confidently and completely wrong. The real-world consequences are already here. Fabricated legal cases, dangerous medical advice, fake citations, invented facts presented as truth. And the core problem is extremely difficult to solve because the same mechanism that makes these tools incredibly useful is the same mechanism that makes them unreliable. Your actionable assignment is this. The next time you use ChatGPT or any other AI tool for something that matters, pick one claim from its response, just one, and verify it independently. Check the source. Confirm the number. Look up the citation. Make this a habit. Over time, you will develop an intuition for when AI output feels too smooth, too specific, or too confident for the question you asked. That intuition is your best defense. AI is an extraordinary tool. It can help you think faster, write better, and explore ideas you never would have considered. But it is a tool that requires a critically engaged human at the controls. The people who will get the most value from AI in the years ahead are not the ones who trust it blindly. They are the ones who understand its limitations and use it wisely anyway. If you found this video helpful and want to keep building that kind of practical AI literacy, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I break down complex AI topics into clear, honest explanations every week. No hype, no fear-mongering, just what you actually need to know. I will see you in the next one.